Have you ever woken up to your own life and realized it no longer feels like yours? That question struck me one gray Thursday morning, staring into the bathroom mirror. Same face, same weary eyes, same practiced smile I'd worn for years. To the world, my life looked flawless. A steady marriage, 2 thriving kids, a cozy house in Seattle's suburbs. But beneath the surface, something was slipping away, a quiet erosion I couldn't name. My name is Rachel Porter, and I used to think I knew myself. Devoted wife, nurturing mother, reliable coworker. I believed if I followed the script, life would fall neatly into place. Somewhere between carpools, deadlines, and endless to-do lists, I faded from my own story. I couldn't recall the last time I felt truly seen, desired, or alive. My husband, Ethan, was a good man, dependable, practical, the kind who fixed problems before they grew. After 12 years of marriage, the fire that once defined us had dimmed to a faint glow. We didn't argue much. We didn't talk much either. We just moved through life, orbiting each other in predictable patterns. It wasn't misery I felt, it was hollowness. Some nights, lying beside Ethan's steady breathing, I wondered if he felt it too, that silent ache of being so close yet so alone. I never asked. I wasn't sure I wanted the answer. Then Lucas Grant walked into my life, a freelance designer on my marketing team. He carried an easy confidence, a warmth that pulled people in without effort. His blue-gray eyes seemed to see straight through you, and his laugh made the world feel lighter. At first, I brushed it off, just a new face, a fleeting spark. But deep down, I felt the stir of something dangerous, a curiosity I hadn't known in years. One afternoon, after a grueling meeting, he looked at me and said, "You always hold it together, don't you?" His words hit like a truth I'd been hiding from. Someone saw the cost of my composure, and that recognition lit a spark in a life I thought had gone cold. Lucas wasn't supposed to mean anything, just another name in my inbox, another colleague across the table. But he asked about the music I loved, the dreams I'd shelved, the parts of me no one else noticed. For the first time in years, I felt like Rachel again, not just a wife or mother. I tried to keep it professional, to hold the line. But attention, when you're starving for it, is like air. You can't help but breathe it in. Our conversations grew longer. Silence is softer, safer. Meanwhile, Ethan sank deeper into his routines, his eyes glued to his phone. Our talks reduced to logistics, kids' schedules, grocery lists, the weather. One night, I tried to reach him. "Do you ever feel like we're just going through the motions?" I asked. He looked up, confused. "We're just tired, Rachel. That's life." He kissed my forehead and returned to his laptop. That was the night I realized loneliness could thrive in a picture-perfect marriage. The next day, Lucas handed me a coffee with a quiet smile. "You look like you need this." I wanted to warn him to stop being so kind. Kindness in a moment of weakness feels like a trap. Instead, I said, "You have no idea." It wasn't flirtation, not yet. It was 2 people seeing each other's exhaustion. But that moment shifted something. I started counting the hours until our next meeting, craving the conversations that colored my gray days. I told myself it was innocent, everyone needs to feel seen. But I knew better. Needing someone else to feel alive is the first step toward unraveling the life you've built. It started small, a shared laugh, a late-night text, a glance that lingered too long. Each moment felt harmless alone, but together, they wove a thread between us, tightening with every interaction. Around Lucas, I felt alive, like I'd stepped out of a monochrome world. One evening, working late, he leaned over my shoulder to point at my screen. His breath brushed my neck, and my pulse raced. We froze, the air heavy. "Sorry," he said, stepping back. "It's fine," I replied, my voice unsteady. But it wasn't fine. I'd been starving for closeness, and that moment felt like fire. I tried to pull back, to rebuild the walls, but Lucas filled the cracks in my life, my thoughts, my mornings, even the quiet of my marriage. I dressed with more care, pretending it was for me, but I knew who I wanted to notice. Ethan noticed, but not how I hoped. "You seem distracted," he said one night. Work stuff. I lied, and his easy trust cut deeper than suspicion would have. One rainy evening, Lucas offered me a ride home. In his car, the world shrank to the patter of rain and the faint scent of cedar. We talked about dreams, about how life's predictability can suffocate. When he parked outside my house, I didn't move. "You don't have to pretend you're okay," he said softly. My breath caught. I could have left, gone inside, locked the door, on whatever this was. Instead, I turned to him. The kiss was soft, hesitant, a quiet shattering of everything I'd held together. It wasn't grand or cinematic, just a moment that changed everything. When I pulled back, my heart pounded. "We can't," I whispered. "I know," he said, but his eyes told a different story. That night, lying beside Ethan, guilt wrapped around me like a vice. But beneath it was something else, aliveness, raw and terrifying. Weeks passed in a blur. Lucas and I didn't speak of the kiss, but every glance carried its weight. I tried to bury it under routine, but nothing felt the same. One evening, he asked, "Do you ever wish things were different?" The truth slipped out before I could stop it. All the time. His sad smile said he'd known it all along. Then Ethan found the messages. I'd left my phone in the kitchen, and he saw the texts, jokes that turned into confessions, late-night words that crossed every line. "Rachel, what is this?" he asked, his voice hollow. I couldn't lie. The truth was already there. "I'm sorry," I said, my voice breaking. "Why?" he asked, and I could only answer, I didn't know how to feel alive anymore. He walked away, and the silence he left was louder than any fight. Ethan moved out a week later, taking only a suitcase and a heavy quiet. The house felt empty, echoing with all we'd left unsaid. The kids adapted, but I woke each morning to a hollow ache. Lucas reached out, but I couldn't face him. What we'd had wasn't love, it was an escape, and its cost was too high. His messages stopped, and I let them. Therapy came next. At first, I answered questions mechanically, but slowly, I unraveled the truth. My therapist asked, "When did you stop showing up for yourself?" I had no answer. Maybe it was when I stopped writing, or when I shrank my needs to fit everyone else's. Ethan and I talk now, cautiously, over weekly family dinners. Sometimes I see a flicker of the man I married, but I know some things can't be what they were. Infidelity, I've learned, isn't just about desire, it's about absence. Of connection, of safety, of self. You don't decide to break your life. It frays quietly, one unmet need at a time. Now I live deliberately. I walk without rushing, read, write, even when it hurts. There's peace in rebuilding from your own wreckage. Some nights, I wonder if Ethan will forgive me, or if I'll forgive myself. Maybe forgiveness isn't a destination, just the choice to keep moving forward, carrying the weight of your truth. Trying something new didn't set me free. It gave me truth, heavy and light all at once, and I'm learning to carry it.